Let me cut this one off. Got some static over here. Okay, there we go. Peace, prosperity, peace, love, and prosperity. Peace, love, prosperity, and power. Good to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Always wonderful. You know, we're here again to raise the vibration as best we can. Indeed, I love you too. So, to raise the vibration again, once again, this is the Quantum Power Altar episode 2. With you and myself, Source Energy, love King Malik. Very grateful to have Barbara Grace, the forgiveness channeler, here to just share some love with us. Because on our first episode, we did some, questions and answers just of who Barbara Grace is in comparison to, or how she relates to her channeling. So today we're just going to pretty much jump right in and get to it, because it's the art of forgiveness, the true way of being. So from the perspective of, where we are, we wanted to ask the collective a question. We wanted to ask questions based upon the art of forgiveness and how someone can, be, what's the true way of being to, be in this state. So it's a few questions. How we do when we start. Sometimes the channel asks the question, answers the questions in one question. So yeah, I have questions, but you may answer some of the other questions in the process. So in that case, I'll let you know that. But at the same time, we're here for more so for you to channel the message from which perspective in which you do. Okay.
Okay.
Very grateful to have you here. Always this is a very, very not blessed. It's a very fortunate thing for us to have this opportunity to share, to hold this space to share. So we're sharing this space of love, forgiveness, gratitude, respect, peace, and honor to the ancients, honor to the spirit of the source, honor to the source in general. Thank you so much again. So is there anything that you would like to say to start out, and just before I ask any questions?
No, nothing's coming to me, so
Okay.
ask away.
Okay, straight to it then. Okay, so what parts of a person's identity are still shaped by the people and expressions they haven't yet forgiven? And who might they become if they finally let that weight go?
Well, everything that you're still holding on to is having an effect on who you are presenting yourself as being. A lot of people believe that they are this image that they've made up in their own minds about who they are. And they don't realize that they're not that image, because there are still a lot of things from the past that are a part of them. And those parts do play in what you present to others. So, some people believe that they're being this wonderful, loving, giving person, but there's a part of them that's still attached to some old anger and resentment from something that happened years ago. And it doesn't matter what it is, because once it's done, it's done. So, but that is having an effect on them. So other people are not seeing them as this wonderful, open, and giving person. They're seeing that ripple of anger and resentment coming through. So when you do the forgiveness work, you are detaching yourself from all of those old beliefs and energies that have been a part of who you've been being. And so this is Barbara Grace. So when I work with someone and I do the forgiveness work with them, and if we're working on Zoom or in person, I can see changes happening in the person that I'm working with. I can see how their energy is changing. Uh, Sometimes it looks like they're just getting brighter. Sometimes it looks like they're getting younger. as they are letting go of all of this old crap that they've been dragging with them throughout their lives. So if you want to, look younger and happier and all of that sort of stuff, do the forgiveness work and let go of all that stuff because you don't need to hang on to any of it. It's not adding anything wonderful or good to your life. It's actually dampening down who you are.
Mm. Okay, so hindering the vibration of being able to process properly or create more in the balance or the present now because of that.
Yes, depending on what it is you're hanging on to.
Mm.
Like some people have the idea that they've done something wrong. And they've also been taught that when you do something wrong, you will be punished. So then they are setting it up so that they are punishing themselves for what they've done wrong. And sometimes that punishment means that they can't have the freedom to be themselves. Sometimes it means they can't be abundant. Sometimes it means that no one's going to love them. They set the punishment, but this is all done by them. This is not God saying,
It's not
okay,
God.
I've looked in my book and I'm giving you a red check mark. This
Mm.
is them saying, I don't deserve.
Low vibration. Yeah, it so many examples. So, okay, so question number two, is forgiveness truly about the other person, or is it the process of reclaiming one's own personal peace, presence, and power?
It's almost never about the other person. You
Okay.
might think that it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
Now, it does have an effect on your relationship with the other person and your relationship with other people in your life. But it's
Indeed.
about you.
Indeed.
It's clearing your energy.
Indeed. 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 I have a situation that I can confirm that. I have a situation with a relative that I love dearly that we have a miscommunication right now, imbalance about something. And it's like, when you see and that you're being authentic with an individual, but you're in a spiritual space and that they're in a spiritual space, but not quite where you are. And you see different things happening. And, some of the things happen, for me. Okay, so I'm in a place where if a person is not paying attention to the detail of what is going on, they could blame others easily for what's going on in their life. They can take that approach. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't realize that we cause things to happen, especially in the relationships of the people who are assisting like that. Who do for you. You have some kind of something that I don't know if you have it against them or against yourself, but it's something that you just can't deal with when it comes down to that person having to speak to you. When you have to communicate with them, it's like you can't really, it's like you hold your breath or something. You kind of like hold back on what you're actually attempting to say. And I feel like that is like one of those things that keeps things out of balance. It's, it makes where forgiveness even becomes, more challenging, especially if it's you attempting to, forgive. Because if someone is really not doing anything to you, but you claim that they are, and you put whatever situations in the space like, oh, this is the reason this happened because of him or because of this or because of that, not paying attention to what is being really done vibrationally, because this is vibration. This is energy, frequency, and vibration. It has nothing to do to me with personal perspective in that sense until you come conscious of it being vibration. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I really, so I'm, sent a message to the loved one today explaining, how it's important to, communicate. But I forgive you, even though I don't necessarily feel like it's my place, but it is my place because for me, I have to do that. I learned that a long time ago to where if you don't forgive yourself, it could be the other person's, fault. It could literally be the other person's, but you attracted that energy, you summoned it into your experience to be able to figure it out, I think. And that's what I look at. I don't ever take it personally, but it's personal, but it's not petty. You know what I'm saying? But I don't take it personally to make it petty. I recognize it as what it is so that I could be of assistance to share. But everybody's not going to listen. It depends on what your signs are. We're both fire signs, and fortunately, I'm a part of the same fire sign that they are. So I really understand the feeling more than they could probably imagine, because that's my rising, and I'm more aggressive than they are in their whole sign, and I'm older, and I'm real with this, and the love is real. At the same time, it's a must to forgive, because if you don't, it's I know, for me, this is what I feel. I don't forgive. It causes me to think these low vibrational things, and I'm not necessarily in my conscious thinking them. It's just they pop up and then they're there. To me, my low vibration in the ether is responding to that, and it will react to others who are inobjective to that. It's like, that's why I say I'm careful about how I deal with people, because I know, on some me not intending to, like the ancestors, whatever the guys, however the energy flows, they protect me from things, and I'm not, like I say, it's as above so below. So I know that I'm not wrong for getting some kind of way about it, but at the same time, I know how challenging it could be for someone else for thinking it's a game. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm really, really on this art of forgiveness. It's really the most important thing other than gratitude, because that's the two things to me that gets to the love factor. So I appreciate the confirmation. And personal peace, presence, and power is one's own thing to reclaim in the first place. So I agree. I agree with. In the timing of the question, I appreciate the confirmation. So how often does someone confuse forgiveness with reconciliation, or what clarity emerges when they realize that the two are not the same?
Forgiveness is about letting go.
Truly.
And if you are, let's say you are having a conversation with someone over something that you guys are disagreeing about, and you are trying to compromise. People often think that compromise is forgiveness, and it's not.
Right.
Because compromise means that you are saying, okay, I'll let you win on this point, but I get to win on this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not actually letting anything go if you're compromising.
Mm-hmm.
You're not actually releasing the whole issue. That's what forgiveness is about. It's about releasing the whole issue, letting it all go. Even if you feel that you have been wronged, you are letting that go too. Because, like you said, anything that you hang on to, that energy is a part of you. That energy is affecting your life in every moment. So, forgiveness is about clearing out all of that energy. So, make sure that when you are working with someone on an issue, let's say you have a disagreement with someone, even before you are talking with that someone, forgive. Do the forgiveness work. And then when you actually meet up with the person and you're having a conversation, you will be having the conversation in the now, as opposed to having it in the past, in that old energy. That's not going to get you to where you want to go.
Indeed. 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 Okay, so what might someone gain access to mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, when they stop waiting for an apology from another and instead choose to free themselves?
You will gain a beautiful, beautiful sense of peace. That's the biggest thing you'll gain.
Mhm.
And you'll also get clarity about the whole situation.
Indeed. One of the things what I meant to say on that last question that you responded to, like coming to certain things. That's not forgiveness because of reconciliation necessarily. It's forgiveness is a whole different level of things. Just as tolerating is not allowing. You know what I'm saying? In the state of allowing, because I've learned these vibrational laws of the universe, and one that goes very, very strong with the law of attraction that everybody seems to, have tapped into, is the law of allowance. You know what I'm saying? And be able to allow people and everything to be as it is because it's in divine order. We so often think we're tolerated, think we're allowing, but we're just tolerating because we think about it and it pisses us off, or it gives us something. That's not allowing. Allowing is when you look at it and you can snickle. You like somebody do the sickest, stupidest thing, and maybe towards you, somebody you love and care for, they say some stupid, off the balance, off the wall, and you just, and it really don't affect you like that. You can even laugh. That's allowing. It's not affecting you to where. So that's kind of the same as that forgiveness and reconciliation in a sense. So I appreciate the confirmation, but I realized I wanted to mention that. So in what ways does holding on to resentment become a part of a person's identity?
Well, you have to remember that the energies that you are holding on to are having effects on you. Like in some cases, when someone is often angry and that anger is building and building and building, you are holding on to that anger in your physical body. And it's actually having an effect on your physical body. So it's not just something that you're thinking, and it really doesn't matter because it does play a part in your life and in who you are being. And it makes it difficult for you to really express the love that you have for someone. Let's say you are holding your child and wanting to love your child and let your child know that they are loved and life is wonderful, but you're also holding on to this anger over someone else, someone not even connected with the child, or they could be connected with the child, it doesn't matter. That child can feel that energy.
Mhm.
And so the child may be unhappy or uncomfortable, or they'll react to it in whatever way they feel is how they should react to it. And you're trying to make the child feel loved and wonderful and smile and giggle, and the child's just not doing it, and you're thinking, okay, what's wrong with my baby? There must be something wrong with the baby. No, the baby is feeling what's wrong with you, because we are, each and every one of us, connected. And so if you're holding on to that energy, the people in your life can feel it. They might not know what they're feeling, but they can feel it.
Indeed.
That's why if someone is looking at you and saying, "What's wrong?" and you look at them and say, "Nothing is wrong." And they look at you and you can tell that they don't believe you, and you're thinking, "Why don't they believe me? I just told them there's nothing wrong."
Yeah.
But they can feel that
Right.
there's something wrong.
I experience that regularly when I'm dealing with everyone that I deal with in my experience, all my seeds, all my empress, my goddess, all of them, because I'm an empath heavily. So and I feel it before I even ask. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'll give them the opportunity to tell me, but when I realize that it's just overwhelming to the point where I have to say something, I'll ask. And you're right, that's this we don't we're not attempting. A lot of us don't realize the importance of even being open with that so that we can get some open forgiveness or be able to forgive. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? That's just one of those processes that I realize that are really, really real for us as being in this, in this quantum realm. Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Okay, what is the silent cost of unforgiveness? Oh, wait. No, it was a second part to that other question. Okay, so how can they begin to separate from from what, hold on, excuse me. How can they begin to separate from what that without feeling like they're losing themselves? Like, how can they get away from that? How can they separate? What are some techniques that you would say, if you could ask, if I can ask the highest power and get the answer from source, in the sense of, okay, I don't know nothing. What can I do? What would the ancients or the ancestors say? What message could we get from that?
One of the ways that I have been guided to do the forgiveness work is um, to go into the heart of God. Now, if you don't believe in God, then it can be the heart of the universe or whatever place you feel
The space.
is the place where the oneness is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's about going to that place of oneness. And when I go into the heart of God, I see this amazing, beautiful space, and it's expansive, and the floors are made with marble, and there's columns, and there's a big pool in the center. And the pool in the center is filled with the waters of forgiveness. And when I go in there or I take someone there, what I do is I merely say words, words that are connected with what they want to let go of. And those words go into that pool and they simply dissolve. And what it's doing is that it's cleaning up the energy for that person or for me surrounding those words in any situations or circumstances or people. Because I often see a long line of people that just walk into the pool and they just disappear. So I'm clearing the energy connected with the words, the situations, the circumstances, the people, everything. And I'm truly letting it go. And
Indeed, that's the
that's that's the important part. Yeah, you have to let it go.
Okay, so basically anyone can do that, right? Just in a state of, realizing and taking advantage of the ability within to imagine that space. Or what, like, because I have some techniques, but what would you, okay, you giving me your technique. I know now how, but what would you say how you snap them into it? What process to begin with? Okay, because you can tell somebody all day, hey, imagine this and this, that, and the other, because I do it all the time. And I know for me it works, but it's a state of being or connected quantum level of energy that you have to be vibrating on in order to see any confirmation. That for me, because I'm staying in a certain, well, I'm doing what I can, what I know to do to stay high vibrational as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? So that part, but at the same time, everybody's not, given the opportunity that we are, in the sense of things like that. We're fortunate, to even have the opportunity to be chosen, because when you're focused and communicating with some people, you realize how far off we are. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just a process. And I was just, you know, that part adding to.
Well, when I'm working with someone, um, I usually just tell them to sit back and relax, take a few deep breaths, and close your eyes. And then I tell them that we are going to go to the quantum field. And when we get there, there's nothing there, but you can feel the energy of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tell them that in front of them are the doorways into the heart of God. And we walk in, and I describe a little bit of what it looks like. Now, I don't tell them that they have to see what I'm saying, or they even have to believe what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
When someone has agreed to work with me, then they've agreed to come into the energy that I am putting out there.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Same with Reiki. Same with whatever modality we choose. It's an agreement between you and the individual that is
Exactly.
right, right.
And once you have that agreement, their soul is working with you. Even if their brain at the time is going, ah, This is a bunch of garbage. I don't believe any of this, blah, blah, blah. You
Mhm.
know, people have all sorts of conversations going on in their heads.
Indeed.
But I'm working with their heart and their soul. And so this energy is being cleared, even though they're not necessarily in their head where I am.
Okay. Indeed.
So I've seen people who have no idea of anything that I'm saying. And after we do the work, and they're like, oh, wow, I feel so much better.
Hmm.
So it's not something that they have to use their mind to connect with, because it's a connection on a much deeper level.
It's basically to lose connection to your mind from in a sense, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, for a period of time, so that so that you can connect to the actual higher version of that is,
yeah.
which is us, you know. Okay, so that's wonderful. Okay, so how might someone's understanding of forgiveness change if they saw it not as weakness, but as the highest expression of inner strength and maturity?
Oh, forgiveness is not about weakness. You know, we've been taught that when you forgive, that means that you are putting aside what you feel, what's important to you, and making them more important than you are.
Mhm.
And that is not what you are doing, not when you are truly forgiving.
Right.
You are looking at what is in you, and you are choosing to let go.
Right.
That's it. You are letting go. It's like it never happened. And then there are people who say, well, if I forget, then it'll just happen again. No, it won't, because you are changing your energy. And so, whatever it was about you that attracted this into your life to begin with is no longer going to be there. So, you're not going to attract the same thing over and over if you forgive. The people who are hanging on to it find themselves reliving the same situations, like the people who are always attracting the same type of person into their life.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, and after they go through the experience with them, and they do forgive them, but they don't forget.
Mm.
And
Hard
so
part.
the energy that's out there attracting new things into their lives is the same energy that was there before. Sometimes it's just stronger. So they're attracting someone who's even worse than who they had before. You
Seen
have to
that.
let go.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, what does it reveal about a person's true way of being when they forgive not just others, but also themselves for the things that they didn't know, couldn't do, or weren't ready to face?
That's a part of the forgiveness. You know, when I said there's a line of people who move into the pool, you'll
Hmm.
notice that in that line, you are there. And you could be there at various ages, depending on how old you were when whatever happened happened. And you go through that and you forgive yourself as well. And they
What?
had me go to the pool one time and said, okay, we want you to forgive yourself at every age. And so I saw myself at every age going into the pool, you know, little 1 year old crawling in, a 2 year old toddling in, and every year I forgave until I got to my current age. And then, of course, I went in as that too. But it really, it cleared up a lot of stuff in my life that I hadn't even thought about, didn't even realize I was still hanging on to. And it just made me happy with who I am now.
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of us don't realize the power that we have just in that. Just all of us have that same power. You just tapped into it and can direct it and pull it in and push it out. And we all at times unconsciously are doing that. And it's so important that we realize that we do have the power to stop, pause, take a mental break and realize that the darkness is right before the light. You know what I'm saying? So when you get into a space of quiet, peace, and darkness, when you come out, when you allow yourself to connect, the light comes on. But it's a process of getting out of the way and really, like getting in the darkness. Don't have a little peephole. You have to really accept, you have to accept the fact of it is, coming from the deepest parts of where you must clear things out. So yeah, I can confirm that. Okay, so here's the final thing. Crafted. Okay, yes, the final thing. Okay, one. Yes, here's the final version. Crafted to bring everything home and on the soul with a soul impact. The question invites not just reflection, but a heartfelt offering from the listener to the world. What kind of life could someone finally live if forgiveness wasn't something that they visited occasionally, but the ground they chose to stand on every single day?
You find yourself seeing everything. It's almost like you're seeing it through new eyes. When I was guided to start doing the forgiveness, and I thought, okay, well, I'll do this a few minutes every day. And I found myself doing it every hour, every 10 minutes. However, whenever anything was coming up and I was going, oh, I don't really want to feel that way, then I would immediately go and forgive it. And the more I did that, the better I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And the more at peace I was with my own life. And the more other people's emotions, I could be aware of them because I can, feel what other people are feeling. But instead of going into their emotions, I would just forgive. And so their emotions were theirs, my emotions were mine. And I didn't have to feel or do anything about what they were feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was perfectly at peace with them being who they were and me being who I am. And I didn't need to be anything other than me. And that was a big change for me, because I'm one of those people who's been working all of her life to make everybody else's life wonderful. And, now guidance is telling me it's about you. It's about you and it's about your life. If you feel good about you, then you can feel good about everybody else.
Indeed.
No matter what they are going through, I feel good about them because I know they're going through whatever they need to go through to get to where they're going. And so it's not a matter of me fixing them or guiding them or anything like that. It's just a matter of me accepting myself. And then I can accept them.
Indeed. We've talked about this several times. We're In my perspective of my experience, I'm projecting out. So everything that I do or don't do, forgive or don't forgive, it is me, because everything is me outside of me, because it's me projecting out and me attracting it back to me for me to be able to see what I need to see, to reflect upon, to build upon, to clear up or to clean out or to balance out. So that's a very, very prosperous place to be, in the sense of knowing that all we got to do is just stop, pause, and forgive ourselves on everything. Whenever something comes in, this is because I do the same thing. I didn't do quite what you did in terms of every age, because I've in past life regression meditations, when I've visited Akashic records, I've had things to come up that I've had to deal with. But you just gave me a wonderful process of doing. I'm gonna go into the quantum and do forgiveness from age 1, 2, because I know I've been back all the way to 4, 3, that certain things that were traumatized, whatever they were, because I remember happy and traumatizing things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I get to pull energy off of both of them. But I'm equally, I'm very grateful that I can, because I accept all of it. I accept the trauma things more because see, those are the ones I don't remember the most. Those are the things that come up and they affect me the most because when I remember the happy things, oh man, I can just remember all the things that go with them. Like immediately. And I do the other things too, but it's just you understand what I'm saying. It's like a different realm of vibration that comes in with both of them, even though they're equal in the equal on the opposite ends. So yeah, that's the process that I realized that once we realize that we can all pause, we can all pause, take a blank moment and blank out, like literally check out. You know what I'm saying? It's not wrong for you to check out when you know you might crash out. You know what I'm saying? You want to check out before you crash out because right now the energy is about, hey, it's so many people ready to crash out. I mean, and especially those of us that are high vibrational and chosen, we have to really, really stay, guarding the vibration of our frequency of vibration and energy. We have to guard that, keep it as high as we can, because as it goes low, based upon all the things that we're experiencing, you got to be ready for it because we're the warriors here for this. I just realized that I've had to take responsibility for it, my part. Really stand on the fact that I'm responsible for me as creation, not just me as this person walking around with these children, that and the other. No, it's me as creation. Everything that I do is me, and I got to be responsible for everything that has something to do with me. Like if I'm talking to somebody like I was speaking about my relative earlier, I love him to death. I really kind of I'm taking responsibility because I knew when I was communicating he wasn't on my level like that. Not negatively, but me attempting to share love in a certain space and people are going through what they're going through. Sometimes they're supposed to see certain things so they could either take that dive or take that jump. You know what I'm saying? Or so I'm looking at it like, okay, well, it's the way the universe works. And I'm grateful to move energy around that does not need to be around me because it's dangerous for them. Like it really is dangerous for them. It's more dangerous for me because I have to deal with the feeling that comes with it when I knew that was not my intention. You know what I'm saying? But when I feel like it's my intention, I don't have no feelings of remorse or nothing like that. When I feel like it's my space, when I feel like, okay, this lesson is supposed to be learned from this side. When I get to that point, after somebody pulls or flip my switch to the point where I know that's the part that, because it's yin yang, it's as above so below. I know I'm here to show love, like I told you before. Love sometimes is painful. You know what I'm saying? It's painful in emotions. It's painful physically, but that's not the. I would much rather the love be the more bright, happy love that you receive immediately and don't have to think about it later and realize that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? That's what my experience was. I had to go through some things and realize, oh man, that was just love. You know what I'm saying? But when it was going on, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that. I wouldn't have been able to relate to that. Matter of fact, you would have been, I would have been feeling like you trying to play me down or something. You telling me, you know what I'm saying? That kind of, yeah. So we really just have one final question before I actually just request that, Barbara Grace allowed the forgiveness channel to speak the last or whatever is necessary for us all to hear. But the last question is, if someone had just one message to offer to the world about what forgiveness has taught them, something honest, something earned, what would they say to the ones still holding on?
Freedom. That's what forgiveness brings you. It brings you freedom. And when you're doing the forgiveness work, we talk about forgiving the people who've wronged us, forgiving the wrongs in the world, forgiving all this wrong stuff. You can actually do the forgiveness work to forgive the joy that you've had in your life, to forgive the wonderful experiences that you've had. And this works, the word that keeps popping up is addiction. People experience something and decide, oh, that's wonderful. I want to experience it again. And so they keep doing that same thing, whether it's drugs or alcohol or sex or spending money or whatever it is that they are doing so that they can have that feeling again, that one moment when it was absolutely wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're doing the forgiveness work, you're giving yourself the freedom to live now, not live in the past, not trying to recreate the past, not trying to once again feel that whatever it was you felt. You are living now, and you are learning to be happy now. You are learning not to keep putting your life off until, because so many people do that. They can be happy once this happens or that happens or whatever it is that's on their list. If you do the forgiveness work, it happens now. You feel the happiness now. You no longer have any need for the drugs or the alcohol or the sex or whatever it was that was your addiction because you are happy now.
At present now. Present now is powerful. That's because, and that's very, very, I'm very grateful that you confirm that happy now. Happy now. Happy now after you've given forgiveness allows you to be forgiven and get more forgiveness. Even prior, even before you even think you need it, like you'll start to move different. It's like it's the energy because, you know, I learned to forgive a while back because of a lot of things that have taken place, and it just came to me. That's one of the things that I must do in order to process the progress forward. And you know, I know the forgiveness thing is a must, and but realize that it's a first. You have to do you first. You know what I'm saying? You have to do you first. And that question was kind of like a very strong question for the for the idea of someone just coming in contact with us. So all I got to do is forgive, and things that go away. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's really like that. And it's been like that for me when I really accepted it, because like we speak several times, it's we're the creators. We are. It's easy for us to do everything that we intend, everything that we will, everything that we command. It is easy for us to do it. It's really challenging for us to make the decision to do it, or to accept the fact that we can, or we're responsible for it. You know what I'm saying? But everything that we have already put into our thought process of what we can or can't do, we are right. You know what I'm saying? We can if we say we can, and we can't if we say we can. We're right either way, because the energy that is us, the I am, it gives you, it projects you in the direction of it. If you know that you're successful, you know you can be, then you're gonna. I don't care what you feel like, things are gonna. As long as you continuously project that main energy, I don't care what comes in as a so-called block or whatever. But as long as you maintain that balance in knowing, then what's going to happen is you're going to be weaving through. It's going to be this neighborhood is going to look horrible, and then all of a sudden you're going to go into one street over, and that's where you get to be. Like that's where yours is. And like it's just I realize that's what's happening in my present now with me and my children. Like me getting to see that they're awakening more on a higher level based upon the things that we are experiencing. And I know that it's the things that we're experiencing that's raising their vibration, because I can kind of relate my childhood to the things I had to experience and the way they affected me, and how I'm seeing it affect me on the things that we're going through, but how it must affect them. And then I'm communicating with them because I realized that that was what I think. I didn't miss it totally, but it could have been more communicated with me when I was going through certain things. And my mom did the best she could, and I wasn't talking to me other people. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things I wasn't even going to talk to her about because I didn't feel like she could relate to certain things. But later on in life, I realized that I was talking to her all the time because she was hearing me. You know, she was hearing my mind. She said, she would talk to me about things, tell me some things that I already was wanting her not to necessarily tap into. You know, when she confirmed she knew, I just let everything. I'm like, you know what? You know, I am not even going to try to keep nothing from you. I'm just going to be me for you because you always going to, be trying to tell me how to be, which I really understand why that is. I'm grateful for that direction because it shaped me to be exactly not what she. It's like she knew that she wanted me to be a certain way, and she said clearly before, several times before she even got sick, that I had already reached that mark for her. But at the same time, it was really, really comforting when I saw her shift spiritually and pretty much get off of the old ideas and start even, speaking the way of source and the way of knowing that, because when she started talking to her sisters and brothers, I didn't hear nothing about religion. I didn't hear nothing about church. I didn't hear nothing about the Bible. I didn't hear nothing about none of that. It was that's like that switch went totally off, and all that was important was for her to be able to speak to the high. And none of the messages were like make sure they go to church, make sure they pray, make sure they. It was not that. I was present in the messages. The messages is about this love thing, about us being in the perspective of forgiveness, gratitude. Be grateful for everything. I don't care if it's the smallest thing. If you got it, be grateful. And if somebody else don't have it, give it to them if you know that you can get it again. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was raised like. My mom taught me early because I'm an only child. One of my cousins came over, and I didn't even realize I was acting stingy, but he grabbed it and I snatched it from him because one of my cousins had broke something before and it was broke, so I couldn't get another one. So when my other cousin came over, I snatched it. My mom told me, "Son, what you doing?" I said, "Well, I just got it because when somebody was over there, it broke. She snatched it from me. She gave it. She said, you can have it." I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Because you ain't never gonna be stingy. You're never gonna be stingy. Never in your whole life. You're gonna always have everything that you want. So when somebody else needs something, you give it. And since you acting like this toy is worth more than a relationship with your cousin that you know you love, this is it." I was pissed for a second. And then he was like, "No, no, you can have it back." Like when he looked at me like that, I said, "No, no, you can have it." Because I saw how happy he was, but at the same time, he was not wanting to damage our relationship. And that right there caused something ugly about that. Like, what I'm saying? Oh, I ain't gonna do like that. And then I had a friend who would come out the house. You all be out there. This dude would come out the house with two sandwiches. Maybe have a bite out of one. I said, "Bro, what the hell ain't with your phone like that?" He said, "So y'all won't ask me." My mama told me to buy this, so y'all won't ask me. I said, "Your mama said this." You got your mama said this. She teaches you wrong. You got to take this stuff. You don't have to like that. You know what I'm saying? But I was really, so he was the only child. And I was looking at him. I was digging everything else.
You're cutting out now.
Oh, I am. Can you hear me? Oh, let me
Oh,
see.
that's better.
Okay, it's probably my mic being back to front. Let me put it up. Okay, a little bit of noise, extra noise, but I think can you hear me clearly now?
Yes.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I think that's the reason why I have to, have this experience with my relative at the moment because it's like it's we're rising up and it's clearing out all those who are not in the same necessarily vibrational realm, and maybe they just got a different perspective. And if we have a community, if we talk, the whole thing is communication with me. I don't have no grudges. I don't owe nobody nothing with that. So I'm not in this situation. It's not on me to communicate. You know what I'm saying? It's on both of us to communicate and get a balance. But some people have to, come back and reach back and do, you have to do a little bit more sometimes, especially when you know that you've gone out of the bounds. And but it is what it is because love is love for me. Like I said, I got some powerful energy and frequency and energy and vibration for that perspective of how I am moving. So I'm here for that one. You know, so another very great meeting of the from the spiritual perspective of mine, and you know, being able to just share energy of respect and love. And it's going to be controversial sometimes. So, be ready for all of that, all who get the opportunity to see this. We're coming out as exactly as we feel we should, respectfully sharing the main thing of what we know we stand on. And that's love, forgiveness, and gratitude. And in the perspective of just everything, Barbara Grace, would you, be so kind to allow, spirit of your higher self to share a loving, special message to all of us that really can connect and really know what is.
We want you to know that the forgiveness work that we are speaking of is not just about looking at someone who's done you wrong in the past or even mistakes that you have made. You can forgive anything and everything. And we have, on more than one occasion, advised Barbara Grace to forgive politics, to forgive Trump, to forgive everything he stands for, to forgive everyone who's connected with him, to forgive all of that so that she is not caught up in the energy that a lot of people are getting caught up in, where they're saying, well, this is wrong or that is wrong, or oh my gosh, we've got to get away from doing this. Or instead of going through all of that, she's forgiving, and she finds herself at peace with all of it, no matter what the media is saying about what you should or shouldn't be doing. And you should make sure you're stocking up and hoarding, and you know letting go of all of that. That's how you get to move forward in life. That's how you get to make the changes that are right for you in the moment, because you're not caught up in all that other stuff.
Mm,
And you just have the freedom to be who you are choosing to be.
mm, mm,
So
mm.
if you want to have more peace in your life, forgive everything. Even the things that you think you don't need to forgive them. Anything that pops into your mind, forgive it. And if you do that, you will find that your mind will become much more quieter. That the little voices that are always speaking to you, they won't have anything to say, because there's nothing that's a problem for you.
Mm.
And that gives you the freedom to actually live your life the way you want to live it. So you get to be happy. Because the only thing keeping you from being happy is you.
Indeed.
So forgive.
Forgiveness is the key. Forgiveness is the key. Forgiveness will definitely make you grateful that you did, and love is the expression as a result of all of it. And getting more aware and knowing what love truly is comes from forgiving and being
Yes.
grateful that you can. Because, from the experience of people who have, and I'm just one speaking for myself, it's a powerful, powerful, powerful tool to allow yourself to be balanced, even if it seems to not assist the others. Because some people won't accept your forgiveness, they won't accept your apology. They'll hold you responsible for whatever takes place in their life as a result, thinking that it's the reason, you're the reason. So they're never. But as long as you authenticate the forgiveness for yourself and be, very, very, very serious about the fact that you know that you're forgiven when you ask. You know what I'm saying? When you know that, then it's nothing else. All is well. And when you know that all is well, that's all you need to know. Because everything is in divine order right now, no matter what it is. It may seem like it's hectic, it may seem like it's great. It may seem like it's a roller coaster of love and hate, but it's still exactly what it's supposed to be. It is in divine order. And I'm just here as a representative of Source Energy, as Love King Malik McCullers, Mayat Ross Sr., being a representative of love, respect, and knowing that, we're here for this, expression. We're here to raise a vibration. We're here to do what we can collectively, individually, and collectively to make sure that whatever we experience is high vibrational, and it assists the vibration to, be high for others, at least raise for others. Because, as it is, some people will not forgive. They will not accept your apology. They will not forgive you. They will take that to several lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? So just know, for you, once you do, you don't have to take it through no lifetime. You know what I'm saying? You could end it here and have peace, love, and prosperity within the soul, and know that all is well. And again, I appreciate your hosting or holding space and sharing space with me, my family, this whole collective of, the source energy, because we are one We are the I am. I love everyone who loves me. I love you if you hate me because it is what it is. It doesn't matter. It all matters in the sense of how I see it. And since I am projecting you into my experience, I must love you or it's not my experience. And it cannot not be my experience. So, love, peace, prosperity. Thank you again. Thank you again. Thank you again.
It was my pleasure.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to end the stream and then we'll jump on to our meeting.